What is going on, everybody? Depraved Slasher here. We are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
HellaDepraved.
Yes, we are.
And I'm excited. We are delving further into Daughtry's new album. And this is the first track off of the album. So there have been no other music videos off of this one that I can tell.
You know this will be the next music video, right?
Probably.
Okay.
Because we covered it. And it'll probably happen in a couple days. Yeah. But we are here. And we're just going to start at the beginning. Yeah.
Right. Super excited for this, though. We've enjoyed...
the 3 tracks.
The other 3... Was it 3 or was it 2?
I thought we did 3. Heavy as the Crown, World on Fire. Didn't we do one other?
No, I think that's it. Because I think we had the one video where we were really confused as to why everyone was captured.
Yeah, that was Heavy as the Crown, and then we went back to World on Fire.
And then we went back to World on Fire, which didn't explain how.
No. This one comes before... This song comes before those 2. So it's possible that... Who knows? But yeah, we're here.
We're here for it. So... With that being said, we're going to react to this if you guys have already seen it. If not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over to all the things. Come on back. And we said that because we're a commentary, reaction, breakdown, comedy channel. What that means is we will pause for any or all of the above. So with that being said, can I get a $5? No. That being said, it's time to slash down and break it down.
This is Daughtry.
This is
Desperation.
Daughtry with Desperation.
I thought you were going to break into Desperado for a second there. Thank you.
This is 100% off subject and has nothing to do with anything that we're doing right now. But did you know that us putting the cat bed on the table for her to sleep completely defeats the purpose of now having the alarm clock that we were working so hard to keep plugged in and keep time for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But did you know
the alarm clock can move?
That it 100% keeps her content and quiet and mostly out of our hair.
I see.
Yes. Yes.
And it's adorable.
True.
If we could turn the camera and show you guys without fucking everything up, we totally would.
Right. Right.
But she is goddamn adorable. All right.
Desperation calls for peace. In desperate times, freedom denied. Free the child.
I need the lyrics.
Oh, okay. His voice is fantastic.
His voice is fantastic, but for whatever reason with the song, I can't understand a damn thing he's saying.
I also really like this melody. It reminds me of Live. The band Live, not a live, but it reminds me of
I'm glad you
Live.
clarified because I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, no,
Me too, because I can't hear from all the reverb. All right.
So, what did it say?
You couldn't understand either?
I mean, vaguely.
State of the mind, state of the blind collective. Desperation calls for peace, desperate times. Freedom denial. Free the child, the captive. Dude, you're speaking...
We're not there yet. We're not there.
You're speaking in, like, sentence fragments.
We just got to free the child. So I did understand most of it correctly then.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing better than I.
I listened to a lot of 90s rock.
I did, too.
In desperate times. child, your captive. Liberation taunts the thief. And paradise comes down to the level. Come down. Desperation calls. Desperation calls for love. Love to come and lead us home. Love is gonna mend these bones. Desperation calls for love. Desperation calls for love.
He has goddamn beautiful voice. I'm sorry.
It does.
Some really nice lilts in there too. What were you?
I was waiting to see if you wanted to break some things down here. Alright, so after what we had read before, free the child, the captive, liberation taunts the thief, and paradise comes down to the level, come down. Desperation calls. Desperation calls for love to come down and lead us home. Love is gonna mend these bones. Desperation calls for love. Desperation calls for love.
Basically, when we get to times like this, what's needed is empathy.
Right.
And empathy worldwide, basically, is all that's going to save us from, you know, the state that we're in.
Does not exist.
Well, it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to exist in large enough quantities, or humans are so incapable of getting together in large enough numbers for long enough periods of time to really do anything at this point.
Right.
Which is really sad. Really sad. Yeah. Yeah.
Straight from the high, we pray to survive the masses. Oh, here comes the queen. The paradise bring down.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
You said paradigms. I'm sitting here reading it going, what the fuck is a paradigm?
Okay. You got your dumb for the night.
Then he said it, and I'm like, okay.
It's not a paradigm. Although, it might be now. That's almost a keeper. That's the wrong emphasis.
Okay. I'm just saying, guys, we shouldn't have secret letters in fucking words, okay?
Secret. Well, I mean, it's silent. You're not
I
wrong,
now
though.
feel like Lil Wayne just said real G's move in silence like paradigm.
The paradise bring down if you let 'em. Bring down. Desperation calls. Desperation calls for love to come and lead us home. Love is gonna mend these bones. Desperation calls for love. Desperation calls for love.
What'd you do now? You got your one dumb in.
I can ask more than one. No. So, aside from the paradigm, so then I'm also reading again. You can't help but read like a line ahead as you're listening. And it says, desperation calls for oh, 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 oh. And I went, oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
So apparently desperation calls for the right stuff.
I mean, it does. The right stuff just so happens to be love in this case.
So, stray from the hive, pray to survive the masses. All hail, here comes the queen. The paradigms break down if you let them. Break down. Desperation calls for oh.
You had a really hard time saying it that way, didn't you?
Oh.
Yeah.
And then the love come and lead us home. Love is going to mend these bones. Desperation calls for love.
Right. Basically, we need to stray from the hive mind.
Right.
In order to allow the cage that we've allowed to contain us break down, and then, you know, we can have our breakdown, and then love can come back and hopefully set up paradise.
So, you know when they say you should never use words you can't spell?
No.
It's a saying.
Okay.
Usually when you're making fun of somebody.
Oh, okay.
Like, they'll say something and you'll look at them like, you shouldn't say things you can't spell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's also why I never use the word paradigm in a sentence. That, and I don't think there's ever a reason to.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. We have found a way.
I have tried to use paradigm in a sentence, but it
No,
apparently
okay, so here's the thing. I find that if people use a word...
It's a paradigms.
I find if people use a word correctly in a sentence, but they mispronunciate it, that was on purpose, they're normally readers. And they learn the word through their reading. Now, they know the correct context, they know the correct definition, but because they read it over and over some places, they never heard it pronounced, and therefore their pronunciation is off. So,
However, I am the weird cog in the machine that also does not read.
at this point, much at least, but yeah.
Oh Lord, okay.
But yeah, no, society, we found a way to dumb down words. We tend to use, instead of just a synonym, multiple words for one word in order to wrap up the explanation in a nice, simplistic bow. Yeah. So you may not need to use paradigm. Ever. Yeah.
Paradigms.
Desperation calls for love. Ready or not, yeah. Ready or not, yeah. Change is gonna come. It's gonna come. Like it or not, yeah. Like it or not, we gotta break the Desperation calls for love is gonna lead us home. Love is gonna mend these bones. Desperation calls for love. Love to come and lead us home. Love is gonna mend these bones. Desperation calls for love. Desperation calls for love.
That was gorgeous. What?
Go ahead.
I, you know, clearly his voice has matured beautifully. And I do like that they're able to return to kind of more the sound that they started with, which he has stated is because they're not with a label anymore. And obviously the messages that he is putting out on this album, I mean, they're very current, and it's clear that he feels very deeply about them. And I honestly think he has a bit more optimism and faith in humanity than I do. But that is so gorgeous that I will listen to it over and over, and maybe, I highly doubt it, but maybe some of it will rub off on me. Not very much, mind you. This absolutely, even message-wise, reminds me of a live song that they were singing back in 90s, I think. Even coming, love being the main character that's gonna lead us. And I don't know if that says something. Like, I love Live, by the way. I love that band, so that clearly says how much I enjoyed this track. But on the flip side, another band was saying it back then, and we're 20 years down the road. And so
I have a
just
similar thing I'm going to go into.
I just kind of feel like, yes, it's a message that apparently we all need to keep on hearing, but I feel like it's just to keep the hope alive at this point. And it's kind of like a burning ember in terms of reality.
Right. All right. So here's the thing. I absolutely, I'm making shit up now. I absolutely do. I'm pulling a U.
No! At first you have the dumb, and then now you're just mixing words together, which is my thing, guys. My thing.
I absolutely do love the sound of his voice. I also will admittedly say I don't know how I feel about listening to him sing about what the topic of this album has been about so far. The reason being, I have this kind of preset idea of what Daughtry's about, and this is not it.
Right.
Which is fine. But here's where I'm having problems with it the most. I've heard these songs sung by other people just differently.
Right.
Prime example is Your Fault, Smashing to Pieces. Smashing to Pieces has done every single one of the songs he's done so far. Granted differently, and they are technically different songs.
Right.
But the subject matter has all been used.
Breaking away from the hive.
And talked about pretty much in the same way he's talking about it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I was sitting over here going, I feel like he's visited Arcadia.
Right.
And I'm waiting now for a crossover. I'm just saying.
That would be fantastic, by the way.
And
like, we love Smashing to Pieces.
And then there's my third problem. They sound alike. If you listen to Smash's voice and Daughtry's...
Chris and Chris?
Chris and Chris? It might be the same person.
Whoa.
No, they're not really the same person.
No, they're not, but that's actually kind of funny.
But they do sound a lot alike singing-wise.
Yes and no.
They have that more higher-pitched kind of growl to it.
I agree, but yes and no. I would say Daughtry's voice is definitely more...
Now, obviously Daughtry did it first, but...
I don't know how long Smash has been around, technically speaking, though.
Right. But I'm just saying, in terms of subject matter, in terms of the sound of music, like I said, that's my only problem I'm having with this album so far. You said dear and fucking forced me into weird words.
You said
weird
sound
words.
of music.
But no. So it's just.
I know.
I feel like I'm rehearing things again.
Obviously, the lyrics are different. But I get what you're saying, and it's not. I doubt Daughtry has gone out there and listened to Smash. I think
no, I don't think
that's not
100% don't think he's copying or no shit like that.
I think what is happening is we're reaching that
point in life,
that pinnacle again, historically speaking, that the people that are actually empathetic and keeping track on what is occurring in the world all have kind of basically the same message. And the thing is, a lot of these people tend to have a bit more optimistic of a view. I mean, like, I feel like Smashing to Pieces...
Well, the big difference is 100% Smashing to Pieces is built for a made-up world.
Correct. But one that is
kind of mirroring ours in a way.
Right, but
In a way.
but they also have a more almost, I wouldn't say jaded, but it's a little bit more cynical view, and it's because they actually animate their stuff and have a,
Right.
renegade rebel for the cause and so on and so forth, which Daughtry has even showed in some of the music videos for this. But on the flip side, like, Smashed into Pieces is its own microcosm, basically.
And again, it's not to say that I'm disliking this. It's enjoyable.
Right.
I just feel like I've been here before.
I think my problem is again, I love the message of this. I love the sound of his voice. I love how this was instrumentally constructed and everything. The melody, all of that stuff. We're not saying that is similar to Smash into Pieces. It's just not really. But content wise, message wise, it's a very, very similar thing. My problem is I stopped believing.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah, no, it stopped decades ago.
You're blue, da boo dee da boo da.
Yeah, no, I stopped believing decades ago that humanity could ever come together long enough to actually enact a lasting change. And whether that has to do with the ecosystem or treating humanity like equals and like they should be in the first place, or ending the sex slavery, or war on drugs, or any of these major causes that we bandy about, like, oh, we're doing something good. No, we're not. We haven't been. Honestly, you find out that all of these causes that you're donating to, by the way, I'm not saying stop donating. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of these big name corporations, like, say, places that you take used goods, we'll put it that way, are actually making huge profits on it and not supporting the homeless or the veterans or whoever you thought you were supporting, or they're getting, pennies on the dollar or whatnot. And then it's just like, humanity as a whole kind of sucks. We just do. So I love this. I also love Smash into Pieces. I also love Live. I will listen to the crap out of this and Smash into Pieces and Live. Again, I'm also
She's hearing the same song 3 times.
I'm also a rock music junkie. I tonally do not think that they said, like, I don't think the music itself sounds the same. I think that maybe they sing in a similar register, but I could see where you're coming from, but to me, they sound different enough. But the message is not one that it's my fantasy, but it is not something that I find anything but a far-fetched fantasy. Does that make sense? So it is a little optimistic for me, which is hard to say to a song that's called Desperation. Like, I know he's singing about the fact that we have reached the point of desperation, and therefore it technically should be kind of like a more morbid song, but he's actually singing about, like, the hope that we come together and love will save us and yada yada, and I just don't see that happening. So there's our $10 on that, and but it's a gorgeous song, and like I said, I am so happy to hear Daughtry and just the epicness that his voice is and what they've produced so far. Like, I think you said this is track 3. I thought it was 4, but 3. It's fantastic. So yeah. I'm much looking forward to the rest of the album.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, if you guys like the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below. What did you think of Daughtry with Desperation?
I think we should, like, almost change our name to Hella Cynical. Like, I feel like people come here and they're like...
But I'm not cynical slasher.
I feel like... kind of are. I feel like people come here and they're like, this is great, happy music. And we're like,
Fuck that.
let's rain on your parade. You know, like, we love it, don't get me wrong, but they're just clearly wrong. You know?
Right.
Like, hella cynical.
Also, comment down below if there's
Sorry.
anything else you guys want to see reacted to. Check the description below for all the things.
Push our buttons. Come join us on our other our social media. Now you've got me
Good.
fucking up. Yeah, do the things. Follow us. Twitter, whatever.
She's got an alfalfa leg sprouting up.
I know. You screwed me up, and then I saw the cuteness overload over here, and it is what it is. We love you guys. We'll see you later.
We love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you to pray people later. Peace.